Are you like me and feeling the pressure of the upcoming season? Yes, Christmas is coming. And as a sewer and creator, I'm trying as I might to get ahead of the game. And in November, I'm trying to get all my makes done. I've got an advent box to do. I've got gifts for the dogs, gifts for family because I always like to give them something handmade. And trying to fit some garment sewing in as well. It's just too much pressure. So I've made a decision and it's a biggie for me anyway. This is my sewing space. I'm Christine the Gemini Stitcher and welcome. If you're new, thanks for joining me, and if you're an existing subscriber, welcome back. I've got everything piled up on here that I am working on or need to get done. Not necessarily in November though, because I've made a big decision. I've taken on a lot of projects recently and it's starting to weigh down on me quite heavily. So I've made a huge decision, and that is that I am going to reduce the amount of garment sewing that I do in November and drastically increase my selfless sewing. Now, by selfless, I mean gifts that I'm giving to friends and family, and I need to get them done. I don't want to leave them till December. I want to spend December back doing me-made garments in my little zone when I've got the time. Because December is always a busy month anyway, apart from trying to segue some sewing in, isn't it? So let's get comfy, grab yourself a brew, and we'll have a chat about this week's and the month of November's sewing plans together. Yes, that little intro told you that I am feeling the pressure. Aren't we all at this time of year? But I'm going to cut myself some slack in November, and I've made a decision to not do any garment sewing. Shock horror, I know, but I've got a lot of other stuff that I'm doing that is going to have to take priority this month. That's just the way it is. And I think by putting my garment sewing to one side, putting it all away, then I'm going to feel better and more focused on what I actually need to make this month. But before we go through that, let's have a look back on things that I've made recently. Because I'll be honest with you, this week or last week, I've not made any garments. But the week before, when I was down in Anglesey, I made 3 so different patterns. And there is a vlog up all about that with Steph. And I will pop the link there for you if you want to go and watch that one. But I'm going to show you the garments up and close today that we made in Anglesey. We made 3 garments in 3 days, which was absolutely amazing. Well, I think we made more than that. Did we make 4 garments in 3 days? Because we made a toaster sweater as well. But this is one that we made. It's the So Different Hepworth Pinafore. And I've made mine in a scrap of mustard denim and some scraps of Beyond the Pink Door denim or blue denim. And yeah, I've not worn it yet. It wraps over at the back. Not worn this yet because I haven't got a top that I like to go under it. But the other week when I was sorting through my stash, I found this. I think it's Atelier Brunette or Atelier Jute, one of them anyway, fabric that I've had for ages. It's a beautiful stripy viscose, and I think it's going to make an amazing blouse to go under my pinafore. And the blouse that I'm thinking of making is the Sewing Bee but blouse. And I've not made another one, so I want to make another one of them. I want to do it long sleeves, and I want to do the pin tuck sleeve that I've done before, which I think will be an easy hack. So yeah, obviously I've already said I'm not sewing me-made garments in November, so that's not going to get done in November. But early December, that's on my radar, because I can't really wear this pinafore till I've got a nice top to go under it. The second garment that I made on our retreat was the cassatt dress. I made it in a stretch corduroy from Abercarn's, and I did it two-tone. It has a button placket all the way down the back, which is a beautiful detail, and 3 huge pockets at the front, which is highly unusual, and we can't have enough pockets, can we? Or I can't. That middle one is going to be perfect for putting my mobile phone in. Last but not least are my dungarees. These are the Osborne dungarees. There they are, a little bit crumpled because they've just come out of the wash. Yes, I managed to do my embroidery on the front of them. They have been made to a crop length, and somebody said they like a lot, and yes they do. There's quite a bit of top stitching on these, and it has a zip at the back. The other thing that I finished recently is the cardigan as part of my mini Cezanne collection, and there it is in all its glory. It's been made in Stylecraft Colour Vibe wool, which is a chunky wool and has 15% alpaca, which means it's great for in the washing machine, but really snuggly and warm. I've worn this already, and I can see me wearing it loads and loads through the winter months. The last thing that I want to show you, because I forgot to show it you, was I forgot to post it as well as part of the Sew Up Cycle challenge recently, and I made a laptop bag out of a jacket. I used my machine, my embroidery machine, to do a patch machine embroidered butterfly on the front pocket. The pocket is going to take all my leads and plugs. I framed it because I didn't quite have enough of the quilted jacket in some beautiful floral fabric, and I've even used the zip from the jacket for the zip at the top of the bag, and the back is just plain. I didn't use a pattern for that. I measured my laptop and added a good few inches to it, and then used that as my template. So there we go. They're makes that I've done recently, and not necessarily shown you on my Monday chat. What else has happened last week? Well, when I got back from Anglesey, I'd received my Beyond the Pink Door box. And yes, I'm late to the party again because I was away when it arrived, so I haven't done an unboxing, but I just thought I would share with you the fabric that I got this month. Now, I have said I can only open the box if I've made something with the previous month's fabric, and I've done it again and made my dungarees, so I could open the box. This month there were 3 fabric choices, and they were all a viscose fabric. So this is the one that I got, and I am made up, chuffed to bits. Chuffed to bits with this because I'm loving the colours, absolutely stunning, and I love the big design on it. Not something I would normally choose, but I already know what I want to make with it. I want to make the Ladera dress. I think that's how you say it, from Itch to Stitch. I was going to make it in my diamond twill fabric, but I'm thinking I want to make it in this now because I think it will do the big design justice, and I'm loving the waist tie. Now, I have got it printed out, not cut out yet, so early December, and I think this might be my Christmas Day dress. We will see. So what did I get up to this week just gone? Because I've already said I didn't do much sewing. Well, I didn't do any garment sewing at all. I got back from Anglesey Sunday, and then Monday I spend most of Monday vlogging and editing, so don't get much done in the way of sewing on a Monday. But this Monday I had to prep for my monthly quilt class and that as well, and that's where I went on Tuesday. So this is the block. We're doing a sampler quilt, so we're learning all sorts of different quilting skills. So this is the quilt square that we've done this month, and it's a little bit different because it's not all pieced together. It's got a huge plain piece of fabric on the background, and then we've sewn together. You can see all the pins in it, so I've got to, she said invisibly hand stitch that onto the square. I'm tempted to do some machine applique. We will see. Go rogue. But the teacher said, do some hand stitching. So that's that one. And then I've made a start on one. The flowers, aren't they? That's got a curved edge rather than a pointed edge. And I've got that one to finish off for next month. So they're on my radar of makes for November because I need those finished for my quilt class when I go back. Then on Wednesday, it was our sewing social. So it's been a mad packed week. Well, 2 weeks really. A week in Anglesey of crazy sewing. Then back on Sunday. And then Monday, regroup, unpack everything, get ready for my quilt class on Tuesday, go to quilt class Tuesday, come back from quilt class, then get everything ready for the social on Wednesday. And we had a fabulous time. We had a few new ladies again, so it's great that we're getting new people every month. And I started my Christmas sewing, mainly for my advent calendar. So I'd got everything cut out that I wanted to make, and I just started working my way through my advent gifts. So it was a great day for me to do that and focus on it. The next social is on the 5th of December, so if you live in the Lancashire area and you want a dedicated day of sewing, then comment on this vlog and I can send you the full details on how to get yourself booked on. Thursday, I crashed and burned. Oh, I was absolutely shattered. You know what it's like when you've been full on and then you stop? I just felt like I couldn't move. So I spent the day with Netflix and did a bit of knitting. I didn't go anywhere near my sewing machine. So I'll give you a little update on where I'm up to with my knitting projects. The cardigan's finished. I've already shown you that. And that's my first knitted garment completed. We're getting there. Now you'll remember the very first thing that I started knitting this autumn was the honeycomb sweater. And it's still not finished, but it nearly is. Just let me show you where I'm up to with it. So there's the back. What do you think? All done, and the honeycomb section at the top done in the dark green. This is the second sleeve, nearly finished. I've just got another few rows to do at the top, and then that can be cast off, and that one's done. The other sleeve is finished, There it is, all ready to go. And apart from the little finishing off of the sleeve, I'm at the front up to the dark green honeycomb. So I need to get that top section done, and then I can do the neckband and get it all sewn together. So I'm hoping to get that finished this week. Now I've discovered that I can't stick to one knitting project. Well, I've known that for a long time, but I decided this time when I started knitting this autumn, I was going to stick to one project. I wasn't going to buy any other wool. I wasn't going to have a stash like I do with my sewing. And I was following something through from start to finish. And I failed already. I finished one cardigan. I've got one jumper almost finished. And then I've been buying more wool as well. I don't know what I'm doing. While Steph and I were in Anglesey, she had me watching Sewing Street. Bad move. They brought out on screen, this popped up. It's called the Forager blanket. You've probably all heard of it, but I hadn't, and it was on my radar to knit blanket. But when I saw this blanket, how beautiful is that? It's from West Yorkshire Spinners. Now, if you just Google Forager blanket, you can find it. The cheapest place I've found it is Black Sheep Wools. It's not a cheap thing to buy, but it's all pure wool. You get all of the wool that you need in this beautiful organza bag. And then the pattern is downloaded in 4 parts. There's a QR code on there and it takes you through to where you can download the pattern. I've made a start on it because I couldn't resist. So I've done the first panel. So it's basically a plain patterned panel and then a patterned panel, then a plain one with a patterning, if you know what I mean. So let's just try and do this without losing. There's 192 stitches on this needle and I don't want to lose them, but there we go. That's where I'm up to. And I'm really pleased with the project. It's a long time since I've done more than one colour at a time in my knitting, so I was a bit nervous, but it's coming out really well. Let's show you the back, and it's quite neat on the back as well. So I'm really pleased with how that's coming along. But obviously, I can't touch that again now until I've finished the honeycomb jumper. That's the plan, anyway. And then, when I was at my quilt class, it's at Quilter's Quarters, and she also sells wool and patterns. And I was there early this week. So I had to have a look at the wool, didn't I? I've been resisting this for weeks, I've got to say. But I bit the bullet. This is what I'm making. It's the Dunwich jumper, stripy, from Rowan Yarns, and it's made in their alpaca cotton, which is, and I've gone quite neutral for me, but sometimes a neutral coloured jumper is perfect. And this is going to be great with jeans and trousers through the winter. So the main part I'm doing in the pale grey, and then the stripes, it looks black on there, but it's like a dark charcoal grey. What do we think? So that's on my radar, but I can't see that happening until December. But we'll see, we'll see. Start of this vlog, I said I'm not doing any garment sewing in November. So what am I going to be doing? I've got quite a lot on, to be honest. I've got my embroidery course, which I've not done any more of since I showed you the other week. So I need to get my big girl pants on and get more of that done before I lose what I've already learnt. I've also got a 12 days of Advent box to do. There are 6 of us, all vloggers, and we've done a round robin and we're sending an Advent box to each other, a 12-day one. We've given ourselves a budget, and I want to do some of my gifts in there as me made gifts, and then I can spend more money on the bought gifts. So I've got some of those. As I said, I got them all cut out on Wednesday and I've made a start. So I'm going to be working on those through November because I've got to post it out on the 25th so that it is, hopefully, it's arrived by the 1st of December. If I can get them done before then I'll just get it posted because obviously I don't want the recipient not to have a box on the 1st of December. So we're all going to do that as part of our Vlogmas. So that should be a bit of fun. That's a little bit different because last year I spent a lot of money on the Fabric Godmother advent calendar and I was, well, a lot disappointed if I'm honest. So this year we also, Sam and I from Secret Girly Creates, made one for each other and I mega enjoyed opening that one compared to the Fabric Godmother one. So we've rolled it out a bit and we've roped in some other vloggers to do it with us. And I'll tell you more about that on the 1st of December. I've also got gifts for family and friends to make because I like to make a homemade gift for as many people as I can. No pressure there, Christine. I've got a few ideas, but I've not even started any of those, so I definitely need to get on with those. And then towards the end of November, I'm taking part in the Gift to November vlogger tour. So I want to make sure I've got some items and ideas already made up so that I can actually show you those on my vlog. And there's a little twist to mine as well, which I'm not going to tell you about right now, but you'll find out nearer the time. So I think you'll agree, I've got a lot to be getting on with in November. So if, like me, you're getting overwhelmed with all the stuff that you feel that you've got to get done in November, prioritise things like I've done. Make big decisions. Well, I made the big decision of not doing any more garment sewing. I've got stuff on Rita, you can just see it in the corner, that needs finishing off or altering slightly. One of them just needs a hem putting on it, but I'm not doing any of it. It's all going to get packed away, out of sight, out of mind, and the only thing out on my sewing station is going to be what I'm working on in that week. At the start of the week, I'm going to get out what I need to do that week and I'm just going to work my way through it. And hopefully, towards the end of November, I'll start to feel better and be able to get back onto garment sewing again. And when I do, the first two things that I'm going to be doing are finishing off my Cezanne collection. I know, I've been doing it since I think the beginning of October, but I have made inroads. I've made the cardigan, I've made the blouse, and I've made the dress. So I've just got the jacket to do and the trousers to do. You know, save the biggest and most difficult things till last, Christine. What a good idea. I've got them both cut out, but they've been put away. I'm not going to touch them until I've finished all my selfless sewing. So that's it from me this week. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, give me a like. If you're new, why not subscribe? It helps my little channel and it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. So I would be eternally grateful if you would subscribe to my channel. And that way you'll find out what I'm doing in A Gift to November and how I get on with my selfless sewing through the month. Take care. Love you loads. Have an amazing sewing week and get that Christmas sewing doing. Get Christmas cracking.